All right. So what we will do, again, we have to start by folding the paper. Now when I fold the paper, I am going to fold it once. Notice the fold is right on this side. I am going to fold it a second time. And the reason I'm folding it a second time is that that's going to give me 2 stabilizers for every one I cut out. So if I actually took 2 pieces of paper, put them together and then folded it twice, then you get 4 each time. So the only reason I'm doing multiple folds is so I'm going to make the process a little faster. All right, and as talked about before, the fold is incredibly important that we work off of the folded side. Now, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to make my trapezoid. Now, the ones that I'm making on here are probably a pretty average size of what you would do for your actual rockets. You can go a little smaller if you like. I wouldn't go much bigger. All right, and I will tell you, when people go too small on these, the problem is that then they become too small for your fingers to do the folding and stuff. And then it becomes just really difficult. Okay, so there is my trapezoid. I'm going to put a star on it. You could put a smiley face, you could write pattern, whatever it is. But the idea here is that this is going to be like my master stabilizer. So all the rest of them that I make need to be exactly like that one. So when I go to make more, I'm going to take that and I'm going to trace my pattern so that they all come out to be exactly the same. And that's going to be really important, that all the stabilizers are the same. All right? If you could imagine if one of your legs was like a foot shorter than the other one, and then you were trying to run, it would be pretty tough, right? So the fact that your legs are the same size makes it nice and easy to run. All right? So on this, if your stabilizers are different lengths or different sizes, it's going to create drag and it's going to make your rockets curve in weird ways and do odd things. And ultimately, when you're trying to get points in some of these rocket Olympic tests, you're not going to be able to, because your rockets are going to go all over the place and you'll have no control over them. Okay, so that's what they're going to look like about full size. And I will leave a couple of those up here as well if you want to come back later on and look at the actual sized ones. Okay? Now going back to as we were saying before, once you have it, I'm going to make little feet on them. Okay. Now I'm going to open it back up, and I am going to really be quite generous with the glue, gluing up on the inside of this. Right? Notice I'm gluing the whole inside of it. And I'm going to laminate those 2 pieces together. All right, I have my feet there. Then I'm going to glue up my feet. And it's important that you get full coverage on the feet so that it lays nice and flat on the rocket. I'm just going to take one of my rockets. I'm going on the bottom of it. And I'm going to get this installed on here. Okay. Notice, like in the edges here where those little feet attached, they're nice and squished down. All right, you shouldn't have anything sticking up. If anything's sticking up, it's going to cause drag and it's going to slow your rocket down. All right, so there's the first one. Then you're going to go to my second one. Then I make feet again. And repeat the process. Now, when you're doing this, you can do either 3 or 4 stabilizers per rocket. Right, I don't know if there's necessarily an advantage to either. It's kind of really some personal preference. But when you do them, of course, the stabilizers need to be nice and even. They need to be nicely spaced out. I'll talk about the spacing in a moment. And all right, so this next one. By the way, if you look, my stabilizer has a little bit of a different angle on one side than the other. So I need to make sure I'm matching them up correctly, because again, that consistency is super important with the rockets. All right, so I'm getting it on there, flattening out the little feet again. All right, and I'm on my way to 2 good looking stabilizers. Now I'm going to make a messed up stabilizer, one that I'd say is an example of what not to do, which is a common mistake people make. All right, so I'm just going to use my pattern again, cut out just a couple more. So open this up. Now remember when I was gluing, I glued the whole inside. Common mistake is that people forget to glue the inside of it, and they just glue the little feet. And maybe they don't even glue the feet that well. So when I go to put it on my rocket, here it is. Take a look at what happens. Now, if I look on, let me see if I can get this on camera here. Mr. Toth, if you give me a little camera angle help on that. So if you could see, this one here is opened up. Let me get my hand out of the way. Maybe you can see the table. Come on, where is it? Where's the angle? Where's the angle? Can you see how it's opened up? Oh, there it goes. Can you see how it's opened up? You can see right through it. Now what happens is when it's opened up like that, is that the air is going to rush through there. And it's going to cause some like turbulence, and it's going to cause some drag, and it's going to really slow your rockets down. It honestly could be the difference of like 30, 40 feet when your rockets are firing. The other thing, if I'm looking closely at the edges here, do you see how that last one I put down, it's really not that well glued down? They're like all kind of bumps and it's not fully attached. All those little spots, if those aren't glued down, it's going to cause drag and it's going to slow you down. Okay? Now, the last thing. When we talk about the placement of the stabilizers, losing the phone here. When we talk about the placement of stabilizers, if you were looking at the bottom of the rocket, right? The bottom of the rocket's a circle. If you're going to have 3 stabilizers, you need to space them out evenly so that there's about 120 degrees between each one. Right? You know there's 360 degrees in a circle? I know we have lots of skateboarders and scooters in here. I'm sure you guys know different tricks are by 360s. If you're going to go 4, then you would need to have 90 degrees between each one. All right, and again, I'm not expecting you to break out a protractor, but it's important that they're as aligned as possible. And the last thing, when you're aligning them lengthwise, so there's my rocket. Here's another rocket. You want your rocket to be nice, your stabilizer to be parallel to the sides. All right, that's going to be good alignment. All right, if you have it twisted or on some kind of crazy angle, that's going to be bad alignment, and that's going to make your rocket like corkscrew and turn and do weird things. Okay, so let's just do a quick review of this then. Remember, you're going